כוחותם. אדוני זיו העולם, נפשי חולת אהבתה. אדוני זיו העולם, נפשי חולת אהבתה. אנא אלנה בפנלה, אנא אלנה בפנלה, בהרות לה נועם זיווך, אז תתעזק ותתרפא, והייתה לך שפחת עולם. אז תתעזק ותתרפא, והייתה לך שפחת עולם. ותחיה מובך עמך, וחוסנה על בן אוהבה. ותחיה מובך עמך, וחוסנה על בן אוהבה. כי זה כמה נקסוף נקסף, כי זה כמה נקסוף נקסף, לראות ותפארת וזך. אנא אלי מחמד ליבי, חושנה ואל תתעלם. אנא אלי מחמד ליבי, חושנה ואל תתעלם. הגלנה ופרוץ חביב עלי את סוכת שלומה. הגלנה ופרוץ חביב עלי את סוכת שלומה. תאיר ארץ מכבודה, תאיר ארץ מכבודה. נגלה ונשמחה בך, מהר אהוב כי בא מועד, וכונני כמעולם. מהר אהוב כי בא מועד, וכונני כמעולם. יא נה 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 נה, יא נה 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 יא נה, נה נה יא נה נה יא נה נה נה, יא נה נה יא נה, יא נה 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 נה, יא נה 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 יא נה נה נה, יא נה נה נה, יא נה נה נה, יא נה נה יא נה נה יא נה נה נה, יא נה נה נה, יא נה נה נה, יא נה 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 יא נה נה.
Yeah, that's a new
Beautiful.
one.
Yeah.
Good for you, Yasher Koach.
Thank you.
Where'd you get that?
That comes from Tamar Applebaum's minyan in Yerushalayim, Kehilat Zion.
Wow,
Yeah, I'm not sure where the origins are beyond that, but that's where I heard it.
good for you. Way to kick it off.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I have to follow that. Awesome. I was so into it, I didn't even realize my screen wasn't on for the first couple of minutes. Wow. Welcome, everyone. Before we go into the next thing, I just need to take a couple of breaths in and out this week. I don't know about Carl and Amy, I don't know about you guys, but I'm very ready to be done with this week. I'm very ready to enter into something a little more peaceful, a little more spiritual. And so if you're joining us, wherever you're watching us, we hope you are able to really sit back and relax and join us in this service. We're going to begin. Amy's going to take us to Cantor. Amy's going to do Psalm 95. And are we answering, or is Carl answering? How is this?
Oh, you can, I mean, it's a little cacophonous, but if you both want to answer, I mean, it's whatever.
For the sake of everyone else, I'll happily mute myself. It's
okay. All right. So we're on page 11 if you're following us in Lev Shalem. Lechu neranin al Adonai, na'avia litzui shaynu, nekad mafana petoda, bizmibot na'pia lo. Clap, clap, clap. Lechu neranin al Adonai, na'avia litzui shaynu, nekad mafana pitoda Biz mi bot na pialo Ki el gadol Adonai Umelech gadol al kol Elohim Asher biyado mechkari haaretz V'toafot harim lo Lechu neranen al Adonai Na'avia litzur yisheinu Nekad mafana pitoda Biz mi bot na pialo Lechu neranen al Adonai Na'avia litzur yisheinu Nekad mafana pitoda Biz mi bot na pialo Asher lo hayam vehu asau Ve'ambeshet yadav yatzaru Bo nishtachave v'nikra Nivracha lifnei Adonai Oseinu Ki hu Eloheinu Va'anachnu amarito b'tzon yado Hayom b'kirim b'kolo tishma'u Lechu neranen al Adonai Na'avia litzur yisheinu Nekad mafana pitoda Biz mi bot na pialo Al takshu levavchem kimriva Ki yom masa bamidbar Asher nisuni avotechem V'chanuni gam ra'ufo ali Lechu neranen al Adonai Na'avia litzur yisheinu Nekad mafana pitoda Biz mi bot na pialo One more time Lechu neranen al Adonai Na'avia litzur yisheinu Nekad mafana pitoda Biz mi bot na pialo 40 shana
40 shana
Akut bedor
Akut bedor
Va'omar Am toy levavhem V'hem lo yadu
V'hem lo yadu
Derachai
Rachai
Asher nishbati v'pi Im yava'un al menuchati
Psalm 96 is on page 13. Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai, bachu shimo, basru miyom, liyom yeshuato. Sapu vagoyim kevodo, bechol ha'amim niflotav, ki gadol Adonai. Oh, me'olam, norahu, al kol Elohim, ki kol Elohei hamim elim, Adonai shamayim asa, hod ve'hadar, לפניו עוז תפארת במקדשו הבו לאדוני משפחות עמים הבו לאדוני כבוד לה ועוז הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו שאו מנחה ובואו לחצרותיו ישמחו השמיים ישמחו השמיים ישמחו השמיים ותגר הארץ יירם הים יירם הים יירם הים ומלואו יירם הים יירם הים יירם הים ומלואו יעלוז שדי, וכל אשר בו יעלוז שדי. איי, 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 אז ירננו כל עציה. אז ירננו כל עציה. אז ירננו כל עציה. אז ירננו כל עציה. יעלוז שדי, כל אשר בו יעלוז שדי. איי, 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 לפני אדוני קיווה.
לפני אדוני קיווה.
קיווה לשפוט הארץ.
קיווה לשפוט הארץ.
ישפוט תבל בצדק, וימים באמונתו.
Whoa, that was quite a mashup. I like that.
About that.
שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש. שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש. One more. שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש. And we're on the bottom of 18. לפני אדוני קיווה.
אדוני קיווה.
קיווה לשפוט הארץ.
לשפוט הארץ.
לשפוט תבל בצדק. ועמים במישרים.
Let's take it over to Psalm 29.
Let's do it.
מזמור לדוד. הבו לאדוני בני אלי, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש, כל אדוני המים, אל הכבוד הרים אדוני על מים רבים. כל אדוני בכוח, כל אדוני בהדר, כל אדוני שובר ארזים, וישבר אדוני את ארזי הלבנון.
ויקידם כמו עגל לבנון וסיריון כמו בן רמין. היה כל אדוני חוצב הבודש, כל אדוני יחיל מדבר, יחיל אדוני מדבר קדוש, כל אדוני יכול אל איילות ויחסו יערו ובהיכל Adonai Oz Lema'amo Yitei Adonai Yavavech Etamu Bashalom Yananai 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 Yananai
Beautiful. Beautiful, really. So it's Friday night. We're about to do Lecha Dodi, and I have to tell you that I'm going to use Lecha Dodi tonight as a way to. I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm going to connect. I'm going to listen to Cantor, Amy, and Carl, and I need it. It's been a rough week. Right before we went live, really right before we went live, I found out that in addition to all the other stuff going on this week, some people may know the name Thich Nhat Hanh, some people may not, but he passed away today. Thich Nhat Hanh was a Zen master, a man who was wrote a poem in the 60s. He would, a monk opposed to the war in the 60s and came to the United States in the 60s. You can find, if you can look at pictures of him with Dr. Martin Luther King. And when Dr. King decided to protest the Vietnam War, it was because of Thich Nhat Hanh, partially, who encouraged him. And when Dr. King won the Nobel Peace Prize, I believe in 1966, he nominated Thich Nhat Hanh to win the next one, and nobody ended up winning that year. I sound like a Super Bowl or something, but he was a wonderful leader. I just want to give you a couple of his quotes. I just want to share with you, if you don't mind. He talked about how we go through this world, and he was talking a lot to say about our driven nature. And he said, if you suffer and make your loved ones suffer, there's nothing that can justify your desire. And that's a beautiful teaching about yearning, about ambition. But my favorite is the way he just in one sentence talks about how we should go through the world. And he says, walk as if you're kissing the earth with your feet. Right? And I love that quote. Every step we take, both metaphorically and literally, every step we take in this world is a reflection of who we are in that moment. And it's a great thing to be able to walk through this world with that kind of purposeful approach. So as we go into this Lecha Dodi, I could go on and on. I won't, I promise, Carl. No, I'm kidding. As we go into this Lecha Dodi, just listen to the music, be here, engage, and think about how we go through the world.
Lecha Dodi Likrat Gala Penei Shabbat Nikabila Shamo v'zachor b'diburecha hishmianu El hamiuchad Adonai echad U'shemo echad B'shem u'tiferet v'litilah Lecha Dodi Likrat Gala B'nei Shabbat Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki mikor habiracha merosh mikadem nesucha sof maasev b'machshava techila הפיכה רב לך שבט בימי כבכון, והוא יחמור עלייך חמלה לכדודי לקראת קהלה פני שבת נקבילה.
This melody comes from Cantor Philip Modell, who I've been studying so much in the past few months, whose music I've been learning and whose life I've been studying and learning about, and it's been an incredible thing. Lecha dodi ligra kala ene shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi ligra kala ene shabbat nekabela. Hayulim shisa shosayich verachaku kodmev alayich yasis alayich Elohayich kimsos chatan al kala. Lecha dodi ligra kala v'nei shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi ligra kala v'nei shabbat nekabela. Yaminus moti verbotzi ve'et Adonai tabitzi al yad ish ben patzi ben nismecha ben nagila. Lecha dodi ligra kala v'nei shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi ligra kala v'nei shabbat nekabela. Boi b'shalom עטרת בה גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. lecha dodi ligra kala v'nei shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi ligra kala v'nei shabbat nekabela.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That was from Cantor, whom?
Cantor Philip Modell, beloved Cantor in Orange County, who served at Temple Beth Emet from 1958 to 1985 and beyond. He was emeritus after that and still continued working in the community. And I've been working on this thesis about his life and work for a number of months now. And I cataloged 257 pieces of music this week that he composed or arranged. More than 100 of them are originals and the rest are arrangements. and he has a fascinating life, and I can't wait to share. I'm going to share this presentation with the community when it's ready, but it's been really amazing.
Awesome. And now we go to, by the way, was that the same Cantor that taught our own Hal Hurwitz?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I
Yes.
thought. And a lot of other people.
And Bob Messi.
Yeah,
And
a lot
many
of people.
at CPI grew up at Temple Beth Emet, and Cantor Modell was their cantor.
That's amazing.
My wife Nancy sang in his kids choir.
Oh, that's awesome. So let's go. Let's sing some more. Let's, Psalm 92. Carl, take it away.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות. צדיק כתמר יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה. שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. עוד ינבון בשבע, דשנים ורעננים יהיו. להגיד כי ישר אדוני, צורי ולא עלת בו.
Adonai malak Ehud, lavish Adonai osin tazar, abtikon tivel baltimot, nachon kisacha me'az, me'olam ata, nazeu naharot Adonai, nazeu naharot kolam, יזהו נערות תוך ים. מכל עוד מים רבים אדירים משפלים, אדיר במרו אדוני. עדותיך נאמנו מאוד, ותחנה בקודש אדוני לאורך ימים.
I just want to sing that song again. I really do. I want to sing it with you. I love that song. I love that kind of Carl Bachy, just the soulfulness, the neshama that comes out. So I won't put you on the spot, but I may need a little more of that, if that's okay.
We could have a little more. We could do a little more.
All right.
Ya na na na, ya na na na, ya na na na, ya na na. עדותיך נאמנו מאוד, לביתך נא בקודש אדוני לאורך ימים.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, it's great. I don't know if I shared this with you, but one of my, I don't know, I won't say best memories, but one of my, I think it's funny. One of my funniest memories of being a rabbi in New Jersey was when every Yom Kippur between Musaf, when, there's like a break, you can take a break for a couple of hours. So before the Mincha service, before the afternoon service, there was a block of time and people were looking for something to do. So I started, I thought I was going to teach. It ended up being a Q&A, just ask me anything. And for 6 years, I ran this Q&A. And this one man came every single year and asked the same question. And he said, Rabbi, isn't it true that he didn't actually, I don't even know if it was a question. Jews have a habit of doing that during Q&As, not actually asking questions, but just making comments. But he said, either he phrased it as a question or a statement, but he said, isn't it true that religion is the cause of most of the death in the world? And every single year I knew it was coming, and I could see him getting ready. And it's an interesting thing to think about. I was thinking about it in terms of the Parsha, but it's also an interesting thing to think about it in terms of this week and being targeted for religion. We're going to talk more about that tomorrow. But in terms of religion and what the purpose is, right? I mean, there was the idea, one of the reasons that Jews were so on board with communism was the idea that if religious differences go away, then the prejudice against Jews will also go away, right? Imagine no religion. I'm sure, Carl, those words may sound familiar to you, right? Imagine there's no heaven, okay? I'm not going to sing it, I promise. But we do have religion, and so then what? Why, right? I wanted to ask that guy that came every year, I wanted to ask him, okay, if you really believe that, what are you doing here on Yom Kippur, right? Go eat a bacon cheeseburger and say, that's it. Clearly he couldn't do that or didn't want to do that. And this week we come to really the crux of Judaism. For most people, they would ask, what is the most important moment in the Torah? And it would be this week, the giving of the 10 Commandments, right? And you'd think Judaism, the purpose of Judaism is the 10 Commandments. They're these kind of pillars of creating a moral and ethical society. And amidst all of these, don't murder, don't steal, don't commit adultery, right? Things that are important to having a society, a functioning society, there's an odd commandment given. And it's, do not take the Lord's name in vain. And it's a great one. And on TV, it would be, you can say the word God and you can say the word damn. But if you put them together, all of a sudden you're going to get bleeped, right? So that was a lot of times what people thought of as blaspheming, right? Taking God's name in vain. But the truth is, a lot of people take religion in vain. And it comes to, what is the purpose of religion, right? Why do we have it? What is it designed to do? And there's a great Rabbi Naftali Tzvi Berlin, who I always thought was German, but is actually Polish, right? His name is Berlin, but he's Polish. He was approached by a philosopher, and he was asked, he said, the philosopher, he thought about God a lot, but he didn't perform any of the mitzvot, right? He was a philosopher, that was what he did. He engaged in theology in his brain, but didn't do mitzvot. So he asked Rabbi Hirsch, why do mitzvot, right? After all, most of them are illogical. Why would God care about the details of mitzvahs, right? What is the purpose of it? And the Rav Berlin's answer was simple. It's important to love God, right? Shema, right? Be'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha. You should love the Lord your God. It's important to love and to think about God. But if we only think about God, and if we only love God, and we don't do the mitzvah, then what are we doing? Then we're just using God to make ourselves feel better. And for Rabbi Berlin, that was using the Lord's name in vain. That was violating that commandment, right? that if we don't do something with our religion, then it's just Leshav is the word in the commandments. The Shem, don't take the Lord's name in Leshav, in falseness or in vanity and vain. And if we practice our religion, but just for us, the rabbi was saying, then it's a selfish religion is not religion. It's just narcissism, right? And in today's society, when in the one that we live in, where people talk about being spiritual but not religious all the time, the purpose of religion isn't to make us feel better. The purpose of the religion isn't to make us, oh my God, the great, amazing, I can see God when I'm on a hike. Great, golf clap. Most people can appreciate the beauty of the creation when we're on a hike. But what do we do when we come down from the mountain? Literally and figuratively, right? Both in this week's Parsha and for ourselves. Do we cut the other person off in traffic as we're leaving our meditation studio or services? Or do we use our religion, our encounter with something greater to bring that force into the world? Religion has been absolutely a source of desecration and a source of all kinds of evils. But the absence of it hasn't been any better. We know what communism in Russia did to the Jewish people and to people in general, how many millions were murdered. We know in Germany in the 30s when a godless religion came. So if we're going to have this God, if we're going to have religion, then we have to figure out the point of it. And for us as Jews, it's the mitzvot. It's walking in the world, as Thich Nhat Hanh said, kissing the earth with every step we take, making the world better, increasing God's presence in the world. So it's my hope and my prayer that this week we engage in that kind of work, that if we see a homeless person, if we see a homeless person at the doors of CBI, that we feed that person, that we clothe the naked, we free the imprisoned, we straighten the bent over, make them upright, and that we increase God's presence in the world and we don't take God's name in vain. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to do Kaddish in just a minute, but before we do, I want to acknowledge that in our community this week, we have a number of yard sites. We're commemorating the yard sites of Irving Scher and Rena Sugar, Judith Becker and Gloria First, Leah Lefkowitz and Rabbi Aaron Tofield, Edith Shanling and Raguniz Kahazadene, of Ida Schnatman and Benjamin Kravitz, of Milton Birkin and Dottie Levinson, of Morley Safir and Jax Kirkus, of Pearl Sapiria, and David Petoskey. May all of their memories be a blessing, and all those who are in mourning or observing a yard site, I invite you to join me wherever you are in saying Kaddish. And Carl and Cantor, Amy, if you want to unmute for the Almains to the Kaddish, that'd be fine too. Iskadal v'Iskadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach Yerusei v'yamlich malchusei v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael ma'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ulmei olmaya Yisbarach v'yishtabach v'yisba'ar v'yisromam v'yisnasei v'yisadar v'yis'aleh v'yishalal Shmei dekudisha b'richu le'ela min kol birchasa v'shirasa tushbechasa v'nechamasa da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlam rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
We wish everyone out there a peaceful week, a peaceful Shabbat. We hope that the good angel stops by your Shabbos table And the bad angel has to say, okay, it should be so beautiful next week too. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech, Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachim l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachim l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachim l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom,
Bachuni l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yanai, Bachuni l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yanai, Seitchem l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Good Shabbos, everybody.
Good
So nice to
Shabbos,
be together.
everyone. Have a Shabbat Shalom. Peaceful.
Shabbat Shalom. Love you. See